Hey, welcome to another video. Today I am going to be making a video about the top 5 tech devices that I use in my Airbnbs. So I am a Airbnb host for just over, well, I would say going on 3 years. I am a single mom. I am my own manager, property manager, maintenance, cleaner at most times. So coming from somebody who does it all and has done it for going on 3 years and runs a very good business, these are my tips on tech devices that can help your Airbnb run more efficiently. So the first tech device, number 1, that I would recommend for anybody either coming into the business or who's already in the business who has not yet turned to a tech Bluetooth device for your remote check-in for your guests. It's essential. It is an essential part of my business. I could not run my business without it. I couldn't even imagine it. I use the Schlage Encode Bluetooth smart lock, and I believe it goes for about $289 plus tax. I will have it linked down below. I love this lock. I would say the top 3 benefits of this lock are, I love that you can look through the history. So if you have a guest who is trying to make a false claim, say they were at the property and try to file for a refund request or something like that, but they actually never showed up, then you could use it for that reason. If you have a guest who has tried to make a complaint for any reason and claims they were in the property for a certain amount of time, you can also fight it with the history. There are multiple instances in which you can put that to use. The second reason why I love it is that you can schedule, as shown, the exact check-in time and check-out time that you need to set for your guest check-in, whatever is specific to that stay. And you can schedule codes for your cleaners, your maintenance men, for anything or anyone that you may need access or need to provide access to. You are able to do that right from your phone in the app. Even if you don't want to provide a code, you can just open the door for someone right from your phone and don't have to be in the area. So it's amazing. Going to be mentioned, I'm going to actually just pop up a screen share and kind of go through the app and show you the lock. So you have all your locks here. Just swipe left or right to view which one you are looking for. You can see battery level, which is really good. You can lock or unlock right from hitting the deadbolt symbol right here. You can go in and add your guest code through the access tab, access code name, access code, and then your schedule. In my case, I always set a start and end date, which would be your check-in time and your checkout time. And once you're done, you would just hit save. You can check the history of the lock, which can help you again to avoid false claims or help out with any disputes. And then in settings, you can also go ahead and set an auto lock if you would like. I've had people who have reached out to me for some advice who are just starting their Airbnbs, and they were not going to be using a smart lock. They were going to be their intentions were to go and change the code after each stay and set the code for each stay. And I said, oh no, oh no. My top tip, I'm so glad you reached out to me, because if it's going to be anything, it would be that. It's essential for my business to run smoothly. I can run it remotely, check in, check out, address any problems. If a guest is having trouble with a code, meaning they did not read check-in instructions, which is very typical, then you can unlock it right from your phone and then just, you know, imply very strongly to the guest that from here on out they read their instructions. It can alert you if someone has attempted to access your door with a means of, by means of like too much force. So like what does it say? It says something like forced entry detected. If somebody is having a trouble with their code and just trying to jiggle like the door too hard, it will alert you. That's when I've been notified. Like a guest is checking in and all of a sudden I'll see like forced entry detected, and I already know they're having some type of issue like with the code, and I'll reach right out to the guest immediately and make sure any issue is resolved. Of course, I can just let them in right away, but then I also make sure that they understand how to use it, which I explain very clearly. But if a guest doesn't read the check-in instructions, which happens often, then they will have some trouble getting in. And so that is, it allows you to basically clear up any guest troubles with check-in immediately. So I love that about it too. So number 2, privacy laws. Number 2 is going to be security cameras. You want to make sure you're respecting any privacy laws. Airbnb has very strict regulations, and areas within the app, well, the platform, that you need to ensure that you state and list directly where your cameras are located, because if a guest ever makes a complaint after you utilize the cameras to provide proof of whatever, you know, evidence you have provided to Airbnb, and the guest is reached out to and they inform them, you know, photo evidence, video evidence was provided, then a guest can turn around and make a complaint against you that they, you know, did not know cameras were at the property, cameras were not disclosed, and your listing can and will be suspended for the duration of time it takes Airbnb to conduct their investigation and get back to you, whether they'll give you a chance to list them properly. Most likely they will, but your listing usually in that case will get suspended. So just make sure to list them in the proper places to begin with. Lesson learned on my part. Hopefully you don't have to learn it on yours. I learned my lesson very early on in the beginning when I had a party, which I used the video evidence from my exterior cameras to provide proof of that, and I did not know they needed to be listed at that time, and so I went through that scenario, so hoping to save you the trouble. I use Reolink. It's going to save you a ton of money, in my opinion. I don't know what you use, but I've used a few different tech devices for security cameras throughout the years, and I found this so far to be the cheapest. I would say most affordable anyway, because there is no subscription, and it's basically like a one-time setup. You order it, I think it's like $49.99 on Amazon right now, and then in addition to that you need to order the SD card, which probably comes to about $15 total, so maybe around $60-ish, give or take, and just per camera. But it's still such an affordable option. I know cameras with ADT and so on can be like a few hundred each. This does have audio. It has a lot of great features that even other cameras that cost far more don't have. Did not even record properly, did not have audio, and that was through ADT, and they were far more expensive. So this is a much more affordable option. It does everything that you need it to do, and you just have to reformat the card. You have to check if the SD card needs to be reformatted every time it goes to get full, which is not often, maybe about every month or depending on the amount of your activity. But I would just set a reminder to check all your cameras if you go with this option about once a month, so you make sure you always have whatever you need available to you. Say you had a situation happen, you need to go back and check your camera, but you didn't have it because for some reason, even though it's supposed to, it didn't reformat itself, and you didn't go in and reformat it. I've had that happen, so now I just try to be proactive and keep up on reformatting them myself, so I know that anything prior to can be erased. If not, I download it, then erase, and I know I'm ready to move forward and make sure I'm recording for future events. So the cameras can help deter vandalism as well as provide proof in any matter you may have present itself in regards to a dispute from a guest. Exterior cameras have come into play for me regarding disputes or violation of my house rules, parties, etc. From guests. And I have had an exterior camera help me more than a time or two. So key for that reason, but of course just to protect your property in general. So the next tech device that is super important and didn't really come to mind for me until I had, of course, an experience that brought it to mind, and you live and you learn, but is an air quality tester. Of course, you want to have your smoke alarms, you want to have your carbon monoxide detectors, you want to have all of those things, and you can get smart devices for those items as well. But in this case, I am referring to, it is the Amazon. It's the Amazon Smart Air Quality Monitor. It is just a small little device that you place within the home, and it connects with an app to your phone, which is just life if you are a short-term rental host. I have had just a recent experience, which is why this is so important to me now and my properties. I didn't even think of it before, but where a guest came into my home, was there for like 10 minutes, and then wanted to message me stating that my home made her sick upon entering. She felt completely ill, got an instant headache, blah, 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 blah. A bunch of BS, clearly. But nonetheless, I had to fight this psychotic guest, just to be honest. Her insults, her slander, her just like, it was a trying time. But basically she came into my property, made outrageous accusations about how my property smelled, and that it made her sick, to sum it up. And had I had this in my home at the time, I could have stopped almost a month-long interaction with a guest who has issues, who repeatedly called customer service for over 2 weeks, attempting to get a refund for false accusations, slander, and lies, because all I could say was my property has 33, at that time, 33 5-star reviews. Never have I had a complaint ever like this, nor will I, unless another person who comes along that has the same mentality as her. But I also, as I've expressed, am my own cleaner. I cleaned the property prior to her arrival. I also checked the property over prior to each guest's arrival, because whether it was already cleaned like a back-to-back turnover, or it was already cleaned and then I have to go back, I always set lights to make like a more ambient mood for check-in. I set lights. I set the temperature, if temperature is needed on, you know, air conditioners or heat, whatever it may be. I video the condition of the property. I just do a few things prior to every single guest check-in. So I was just at the property like an hour before, and I knew nothing was wrong with my property. But of course you get a statement like that from a guest, and nonetheless, no matter how you know your property to be, you are still going to have to fight well, you're going to have to fight against the claims. I would have been able to prove that the air quality was good, that there was no outrageous scents within the home, there was no chlorine smell, there was no urine smell, there was no what else did she say, like somebody had mixed so many products together and possibly didn't know how to clean, that the Glade plug-in could have been misengineered and dispersed too much scent, and claims like that, which no, I don't even think it's, even if it was possible, would it make a home uninhabitable? I doubt it. It's an amazing tech tool to have, and if you hadn't had any type of experience with that yet, I'm telling you, scent is something that is hard to disprove. So unless you have something like this, which is just facts for smell, which is just going to be a he said, she said, back and forth through customer service, unless you have something like this, which is a concrete, you cannot argue this. This is an amazing tool to have. I would recommend having had the experience, and honestly a few experiences where this could have helped, just to get it before you have to go through that. So when it happens, which it is likely that someone will come along and try to claim something at some point, this will help you immensely in that situation. Okay, number 4, love this one, Ozone Generator. Must, it's a must have. All of these are, but I mean, yes, the smell that can be left from cooking, from a midterm guest, a guest that stayed, you know, 2 to 3 weeks, they can typically leave a smell very distinctly from their cooking, which I've had multiple instances in where this has happened. If a guest smokes cigarettes in your home, honestly, marijuana tends to clear out very fast. That is not a concern for me, but a guest could complain about anything. But cigarettes in general obviously are not pleasant and stink, and that is a very hard smell to clear out. So pet smells, just any smell that you could think of pretty much could be cleared out with an ozone generator slash air purifier. Like I just had a guest check out for 3 months. I was not even concerned at all like I used to be about, oh, what's the home gonna smell like following, like, you know, their particular cooking, all of that. I don't have to worry about anything. You just do your cleaning, and then what I'll do is I'll set the ozone machine in there when the cleaning is finished, and as I head out, I'll turn it on for the longest time. I think it's like 180 minutes, I think might be the longest duration of time that you could set it for. And I'll do that, and then I'll leave the house and it'll be good to go when I come back. So sanitizing surfaces, you know, providing peace of mind for your guests, just being able to state that, you know, it's used between each stay can help provide, you know, an additional peace of mind for your guests, but also really just come in handy so you don't have complaints about, you know, other guests coming into your home and claiming about, you know, complaining about a smoke smell that a prior guest may have caused, or just anything at all. You don't have to worry. You have peace of mind yourself, knowing that no matter what turns up as far as smells, you'll be able to combat it very quickly. I also use my phone, but this is so important just for your own protection and again for disputes. So if a guest tries to claim that, you know, anything is wrong with your home, or this was dirty, or they found this there, or just anything at all, or if they just damage something, you know, they don't have any claims themselves, but they leave damage upon their checkout, you have documentation prior to the guest check-in that documents every aspect of your property. And from lessons learned, I video everything: inside the microwave, inside the toilet, inside the coffee filter, in the coffee machine, the you know, the glass, the coffee jar. I don't drink coffee, but you know, the coffee thing itself. I video everything I possibly can. If I've heard about it or I've experienced it myself, I video it. Why? Because I've learned. Oh, even your lights, you want to get like up on the ceiling, on the floor, you want to try to not miss anything. I've had a stay where I don't know if the guest was like trying to make the bed and they like hit the chandelier with the blanket, because I've done it myself, but it actually like left the light kind of hanging. And I would have never thought to video the light, really, like catch that, unless it just happened to be caught. But you know, there's a reason why you video literally everything that you can. And if you haven't been through it yourself, then it's good to obviously have talks with other hosts so you can learn things preventatively, and save yourself the trouble of like not having, you know, prior condition if damage is caused and you didn't even think to video that. I would highly encourage anyone out there, whether you're thinking of getting into the short-term rental business or mid-term rental business, to consider these devices, because they have made an entire difference in my own business. I could not run it without some of them, and have run it without others that I've mentioned. But of course, going through the problems that, you know, I've provided as examples since then, I would not want to continue to run my business without them. They are all essential and, in my opinion, amazing. And like, there's no question, they are a must for my property. So if you guys use any of these devices, I'd like to hear your feedback on them, and your maybe, you know, some experiences you've had as to why you started using them yourself if you hadn't already been doing so. And then if you have any tips for me on devices that would be essential and really make my business run more smoothly, then I would love to hear them. Please, you know, leave that in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with somebody you think it can help. Thanks for watching.